Welcome to the Cool Down, our talk after we have the tough talk with some of the biggest real estate professionals in the country. I'm here at Go Long Studios with owner Kevin Massey and producer Pablo. He would be waving at you right now, but he's not on camera. So we had Shelli Hinkson in, who you have gotten to work with several times. Tell me about the main thing is I was there. What did you get out of the podcast?
Well, I mean, going into it knowing one thing, she's always prepared, Tim, and that just really proves to her success, right? But there were so many takeaways from her, but the first one in chronological order is where I'll go. It kind of was part of her first role as a dental hygienist, her second role at Mary Kay. In her third role, she had that accountability partner that reeled her in. When she was talking about that cruise, and it just resonated with me of like when she said real estate's going to be there when you get back, but you can't get back missing out on a cruise to Alaska. And
that conversation was a tough conversation. She's like, look, my husband's going on this cruise in Alaska. It's my busiest time of year, and by the way, I make money when she's selling. Mm-hmm. But her long-term health is really about you need to go do this with your family because you're not worth anything if you're burnt out.
And why, if you work so hard and you don't take a moment to just appreciate all your hard work and show what it can provide, I mean, how fun is it when everyone else out there is enjoying it and you're not getting to? There's resentment. There's
you and I talk about the memories that you're creating with pickleball with your daughter right now, and how much more valuable is that than time starting your business?
100%. I mean, it's you're going out doing something that you both love, but what you don't remember or what you may not initially think of is those are moments and memories that she's going to have for the rest of her life that happened organically. Right. It wasn't like, all right, I'm going to put this roadmap here to make sure we have this time. You're both doing what you love. And then when people just get to be themselves, that's when they start making memories.
And you can't say God, family, business, which you and I talk about a lot, unless you encourage your people to spend time with family.
Amen.
Which is so hard sometimes.
Practice what you preach.
Right, yeah, it's so hard sometimes. It's like, God, they're really producing right
I know.
now.
I know. Because, that decision could potentially have affected your paycheck as well, right?
In the short term, but in the long term, you have somebody who's going to stay with you a lot longer because they see you really care about them as a whole person. You care about their family. 100%. Her husband's amazing. Her family's amazing. I've gotten to meet most of them. So just to really care about the family, really, that's really more important.
And I mean, like, it's kind of funny how those two, John and Shelli, can overlay in some of their beliefs and thoughts, where, I got to meet her husband at that luxury open house that we did. He was participating, he was present, right? So back to this. They're making memories together right then, even though it's for an open house, but he's getting to understand, her work environment. He's getting to see how hard she works, but he's also there to, prop her up. Not only is he accountability partner, he's our biggest cheerleader too. He is. Yeah. And so that's really important. And, circle back with me when we talk about John's because, family business and whatnot.
What else you got with her?
Servant leadership. I think both of you guys had great stories, but touched on it. And this is something that I was taught long ago in sales. And, nothing is beneath you in an industry you are in. And if you are a leader, you should know, understand, and do every role in that industry. As my father always said, always inspect the forest before you move the trees and get to understand. And what she did was, she had a really good mentality about the reason why she liked working with buyers more, predominantly, because she wants to share that excitement, create that excitement, and participate in that excitement. And you told the story where, you had gotten a big head for a little bit and you had just closed on a big house, 500, 700,000 or whatever. And then you were doing that $120,000 deal and you kind of went into it dragging your feet a little bit and not very, but you got a really quick wake up call and you were humbled instantly because that was her first home purchase and she was what, 70?
And she was dead a few years later, but
why you got to throw that in there?
No, seriously, I was part of her having
correct
her first house.
Correct. Her first purchase. And you were humbled real quickly, and you just said, you know what? And again, it's like when I always would talk to, my leaders that were out there, just sending the troops out to battle every day. And it was like, look, they're going to come and ask you questions that you've answered a million times, but have they asked it to you yet? Right. Because to them, that's the first time they've ever asked for it, and that's the first time they're looking for an answer. Well, do you want it to be go talk to someone else or go figure it out? No. You want to provide that same energy, that same effort to every single person, especially if you're in a leadership role or you're working with someone that is new to the industry or a first-time buyer.
I had somebody really humble me, and you and I talked about this quote. I had someone really humble me one time. I was doing a deal with a guy, and he said, Tim, just because you've done this a million times doesn't mean I have.
Correct.
I need you to slow down and explain this to me. Yeah. That's your job.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And if you had a tail, it'd have been between your legs.
It would have been, absolutely. But again, it was humbling, but it was also a fantastic lesson to remember. Like, just because I've done it doesn't mean they have.
Nope.
And remember that in real estate, we've done thousands of transactions, or hundreds at least, have your buyers and has a new agent. And I just interviewed a new agent. I'm like, hey, you're not ready to join my team yet because I don't have the bandwidth to take you from new to okay. Yeah. I'm really good, by the way, at taking agents from already pretty good to great.
Yes.
And I used to have the bandwidth from new to okay, but realizing that I don't have that right now.
You'd be doing them a disservice.
Absolutely.
So you're not going to take it on out of obligation. You're going to take it on when you can give them 100%, just like what you're going to demand from them.
Absolutely.
Reciprocal.
Right.
So the other one, man, and I think if anybody's seen any other of these episodes, they're going to say Tim's a proponent of it, but dress is important. Right. My father would always say, dress for the job you want, not the one you have.
Absolutely. I love that quote.
And I think part of the reason we got along so well was our first meeting. We were both suited up, and we're like, hey, nice tie. Oh, hey, nice that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I always appreciated that, but Shelli really kind of put it into perspective that I had never really thought about it. But I mean, it is your first impression, and they want to look at you. And back to the luxury piece, do they want her showing up in tennis shoes and looking like she just rolled out of a nap, or do they want her dressed similarly to what those buyers are going to be dressed as? I
just wrapped up a $17.5 million listing.
Whoop.
Yesterday.
Yes, man.
Now it's not. It's a project, so it's $450,000, but it's about $17 million. And there's a group of guys that I hang around, and there's a lot of us that are real estate agents. But they picked me a couple years ago to get to represent them, and I don't know if it's because I dressed up, but the other guys didn't, and I'm just saying it might have helped.
Well, if you look at it, say when you were going from that residential space to the commercial
space,
you already had one box checked and you didn't even know it, right? And so that's the other thing is in the commercial space there, it's a Monday through Friday 9 to 5. We're not doing showings at 6 or 7.
I love that.
Exactly. But they're conducting business just as you are, and nothing brings you to the level perception or playing field as someone that walks in dressed and expecting the same respect.
I just think it's my job to look like the most relaxed person in the room, and be dressed up.
Yeah,
I know that's
it's the look. I mean, look, you got the vest on, you got the sleeves rolled up, so you could be, you can fit into a happy hour, or you can fit into a conference room right now. Well, sometimes same time both. Yeah.
So you want your clients to feel safe that you're there.
Yes.
Right. You want your clients to be like your children to a degree. My daughter felt safer when I was around. My wife, hopefully, when you get it right, your wife feels safer when you're in the room.
Sure.
And that's our job as agents too. So we need to look like an adult. We need to dress like an adult. We don't need to dress like a kid playing video games.
No.
So I think it offers a level of comfort to our clients. It's not just you look good in first impression. While that's all important, what do you communicate to them?
Correct.
And what comfort do you give them because you show up looking like a professional on it?
Correct. No, I mean, there's in one of my businesses where it's guys that, we went from, some type of token of an achievement to a watch. And it was like, when you wear this, you can have any conversation with whomever you want.
Absolutely.
And so that gave them that sense of confidence to go out there and level up their conversations and know that they are not worthy, if for lack of a better word, but they deserve to get their attention as well. So the other thing, we got to be part of it. When we went and did that open house that she did at that beautiful listing.
Yeah, you got to go see the podcast and have her explain and see everything. We won't go over all of it here.
No.
Everything she did for this open house, where she had 35 to 45 professional luxury agents show up.
Yes.
She leveraged her partners. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, she doesn't know the buyers of all these agents. She doesn't know what they're looking for. She knows what the agents are looking for.
Right.
And what was that? It was a photo booth, headshots, opportunity to win a 30-minute session here. So she checked all those boxes, but then I'm just going to, carry over and to write the next one was she leveraged her partners,
right,
kept it low cost for her, got the exposure that home needed for her sellers, and provided a great networking opportunity. And now it was basically her business on display there, and everybody knew this woman knows what she's doing.
This kind of sounds strange. I actually pick up a lot of listings from other agents who say, I can't handle this listing. Could you take it? I know that sounds like, and I'm talking $1 million to $2 million, $3 million
Let's
listings.
split the commission and, come on.
I want to refer you this listing because I can't handle it. After that, I'd bet a whole lot of money that within a year, she gets a luxury listing from one of the agents in the room that says, I'm downsizing. I'm going to be out of town with my kid.
Yeah.
I need someone who can do what you did at that open
Someone
house.
who can be present.
Right.
Yeah.
And she also, it impressed the heck out of the sellers too. So.
Oh, well, absolutely.
Right.
I mean, she communicated well. And then the other thing of, kind of that servant leadership, I think she was exuding an aura of respect for their home.
Right.
So instantly that's assimilated to her guests.
Right.
They're going to treat it as she's treating it.
Right.
So if she goes in there and she's respectful, they're going to be respectful. But then they also know, what client to bring in here, and they get ideas, right? So, she closed that house.
Right.
And when you guys were talking about, not staying in your lane necessarily, but where, she kind of realized that you and your team, you provide those resources because you're very good at knowing what you're good at and then knowing your weaknesses. And I love that quote where you said, hire to your weaknesses, right? That gives that humility and gives empowerment to that other individual. And they know their value. They feel valued at the company they're at. But you said, she said at some point, it was like, I had to step back and let them do their job. But it kind of goes back to, it wasn't because she was questioning them. It was this, that she wanted it perfect for that buyer.
It's hard for her to let go. Right. No, it is. And
that's back to that servant leadership.
Yeah. It's hard for her to let go of the whole process and manage it. But sometimes the best thing you can do for a process is put experts in place that are better than you.
Amen.
And by the way, at our team, that's one thing we do. And I think that's one thing that every agent should try to do is, who can I put in place in that role that's better than me? We just hired a new marketing. Have you talked to Lindsay yet?
We had a meeting this morning.
Yeah.
We had that meeting earlier this afternoon, and we were both talking about it. And what we both realized was, I think what we can take this is good to great with each one of our talents, but we can also make efficiencies, and that gives us.
How much more does she know about social media than me?
I think anybody knows more about social media than you. But you know what I'm excited about? And you made Pablo's day, by the way.
How?
Because I held off and I didn't tell him until we got on the call. And Big Tim is Big Tim Volume 2's coming. Yeah, so we're not going to say anything else.
We're going to have Big Tim potentially close by.
I can't wait.
Yeah, that'll be
and Pablo was grinning ear to ear when he heard that, because ever since he saw Big Tim at the office, he was like, I'm going to just go home and think of ideas on how we can work this in.
Yeah, we're going to have him here. We're going to have him here.
Big Tim is back, baby.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Wait till everybody sees it. All right. Anything else from Shelli? Because we got a lot to go over.
No, I think the other two things were, and I mean, this is what, I've checked all the boxes except for the last two things, and these kind of coincide. She makes sure everybody knows what she does.
Right.
And she's introducing herself as that. And The second, and I tell this to a lot of people, is the second that you can overcome the delivery of what you do, and she's proud of it, and she wants everyone to know it, and she analyzes herself. If she sees a for sale sign on her street, what did I do wrong?
So Gary Keller said this years ago, and again, I try to stay broker agnostic, but Gary Keller is a very wise man, and he said this: I used to think it was my job as a very good realtor to get to a buyer before some idiot messed it up. And he doesn't use the word idiot. I'm using the word idiot. Before someone not as competent as me, he probably said it a lot more nicely.
Sure.
Before somebody not as competent as me gets to that. I considered it my job to get to that buyer or seller before they ended up in the hands of a clown. He didn't say the word clown. I'm saying the word clown. But Shelli, the other thing she said is, it's not the, and I love this, it's not the gift you give, it's how you give it. Right. Yep. She talked about that a lot, and I really appreciate it. Like, if you hand somebody a gift card, that's one thing. If you hand somebody a gift card in a box with a bow and make an event out of it and present it in front of people and say, you've really earned this. And Mary Kay, she said, was great at that and taught her that. Yeah. So I thought that was a great point.
Yeah, she's not giving you a gift card. It's a gift from Shelli.
Right.
And it has her own personal stamp on it.
I love that.
Yeah,
so.
Me too. Well, it was a great episode. I'm looking forward to talking about the next. I mean, these guests have been great. For your first female guest, I think you couldn't have had a better one.
Yeah, absolutely. So remember, Go Long Studios are out there. And See Tim Sell, you can find us at 877-313-SELL, Go Long Studios. Look it up online.
And then like and subscribe. Tough Talk. We're going to keep this coming every two per month, right?
Absolutely.
All right.